I'm from the old school. I was born in 1929 in the front bedroom of 78 Monroe Street in the city of Buffalo to a beautiful family. Mom and dad, 4 brothers were welcoming me on Thanksgiving Day in 1929. My dad, unbelievable, the most famous person that ever lived in my idea, and I always wanted to be just like him. So I've been told sometime, once in a while, that I'm just like my dad, and I said, oh, that's a great thing. Mom was special too. So that environment, the only problem I had was trying to fight my brothers off every time we tried to get the same piece of bread or something. We were all good otherwise, but that was the basis of my life. My folks were church bound. There was no question on Sunday what was going to be our program. It was automatic. We got up to eat in the morning, something quick. We were dressed, it was church. That's where we found our real heartbeat of our relationship, because we all loved Jesus. He was the captain of our crew, and we kind of followed his love and his example of relationships. And we grew up in a real nice family situation. That's my basic background. I don't know, it's amazing enough that one thing that I got done that's been very effective was not necessarily a race thing. I wrote the original resolution that produced the law for no smoking. And I did that in 1986 in the city of Buffalo as a representative of the Common Council. I'd say from a health point of view, that was good. But other than that, every time I go to represent the people of the city in general, I'm always striving to get equal rights and opportunity for African Americans. My whole theme of life has been, since I found out and knew something about our background, it was important for me to share information and give help to those people who didn't understand the importance of getting along with people. That's my major goal in life. It's very difficult for me to try to single out just that one thing. I've been out here too long doing too many things that I felt were important for me to try to present something that's not important. So that's been my goal, and it's still ongoing, incidentally. The one for me is trying to understand why it's so difficult as an African American is to get an understanding of people about an equal relationship. You know, when I was growing up, I wasn't involved in a whole lot of discrimination because I was in Buffalo. We were separated, but I didn't have a conflict with that because at the time, all of my relationships were mostly with African Americans anyhow. But as I've begun to grow up and share other situations and be in other atmospheres, I found out trying to get folks of other colors and discriminations to understand that we are equal and an important part of all of America's development and growth. Just is a bit difficult for people to do that. And now in the modern day, it's as difficult as it was than I was when I was 20 years old, just going to UB. I just didn't understand it then. And as a grown man, getting clear to almost to 100 years old, I still don't understand why people can't just let us be. If you don't help us, then get out of the way. That's the most difficult challenge. And it's obvious. And a lot of this is being done to us, incidentally, by the same person I've been serving all my life. Jesus has always told us about equality, love, relationships. And a lot of the people that are opposing us are people who claim Jesus as their savior. And I don't understand that either, because what they're doing to clear up this democracy is not Christian or not logical. So come on, folk, get away. And especially us in our community, we can't stay asleep. We're not doing enough activity to make people nervous about how near we're coming to that opportunity. So don't quit. I'm still under that challenge. I'm almost 93, and I'm ready to go right now. If you call me for a demonstration, a march, or just to say a few words to encourage other folk, Brother Bell will be there. Get all the education you can. Education is not only knowledge, education is advancement. Because I was told years ago, if you don't know much, you can't do much. All the technicality that's going on in the world, all the modern inventions and materials and the equipment you gotta work on takes knowledge. You gotta go to school to get that knowledge, or be hired by somebody who can expose you to that knowledge based on your personal relationships. But please, don't underestimate staying in school, talking about, I can't get a job, I can't learn nothing. You can learn anything you put your mind to. There's nothing special about learning. It's just commitment, repetition, patience, No, you're not going to graduate next week and get a $40,000 a year job, and then you're not going to get a job at all if you can't read and write properly, and knowing how to speak and having a different attitude. You shouldn't be trying to get revenge. You don't know nothing what happened to people like me when I was growing up at the age some of you are. I couldn't do things. I couldn't go places. I wasn't welcome any place I went. You could tell when I walked in the room, the whole scene changed. You got an opportunity to learn. Now you're getting upset about something that happened to somebody like me 100 years ago. You can't represent something you don't know anything about. So if you're not reading, and you don't know anything about slavery or history, you need to read and find out how many outstanding African Americans achieved great things in their life because they dedicated themselves to getting further ahead and forgot for a minute that there's somebody standing on your head. They can only stand on your head until you get up and move away from underneath their foot. So stay with it, learn something, be somebody, be proud of yourself. Don't underestimate what you can do. I've never have, never will.